Yes, I'm looking at everything. It looks good. The streaming capability is fine. There's no processor overload. Looks the streaming 760 or streaming 1080 is very all right, there we go. Sorry, had to make sure that Brother Joe, Mr. CEO, knew what was going on there. So, all right, let's get started here. I think it's time for us to actually do something now. You paid for this, so let's make it happen. Okay. Let's make sure. All right, we got viewers. Good. Okay. Very good. Very good. Change new string, so. Okay, set the delay. All right. Okay, so. Good. Sounds good. Very good. Okay. How many viewers? 4. All right. We're going to go ahead. So this is new beginning. I flubbed it. I flubbed it. All right, let's see. Not bad, though. Not bad. Not bad. It's a good tune, man. It's a good tune. How did it sound? Because I'll tell you what, in my headphones, it sounds not so great. In my head, it did not sound very good. Let's see. We need to tune. So let's tune. We're going into... Oh, wait. Are we going to do it on the... Yeah, we're going to do it on the 7th string. Now, the other tune that I am... oh, boy. Oh, boy. This tune. Come on. Get out of there. Thank you. All right. So, how did it sound? Was everything okay? Somebody tell me out there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a doozy right here. All right, good. Because like I said, in my headphones, it sounded like hell. So, I mean that in the nicest way possible. I think I just need to turn the volume down of the track. All right, so you tune in silence. Nobody likes to hear that. So this next tune, some would argue this is probably my heaviest tune. This one could be a little rough, but we'll have fun. I'm not much of a metal player. I love metal, but I'm not much of a metal player. I don't play the heavy stuff very much. This track is called The Struggle, and it has a funny story behind it, actually. Not that funny, but you know. So, when I was writing, this was on volume 2, I think, when I was writing, I got to that point where it's sort of, the idea for it kind of interlapped. So when you write and you do everything yourself, and that includes all the, the instruments and the composition, the drums, which I sequence, that's the worst part. It's the worst part of the whole process is the drums, and I will mention them often. It's a struggle sometimes. And literally I just thought, oh yeah, okay, so this is an aggravating struggle, It's a pain in the you-know-what. At the same time, though, this was during the time when there was a lot of negative press on candidate Trump at the time, and I just thought that he handled that like such a boss that I thought this song kind of fit him. I always imagined when I was writing this, I imagined him kind of doing his stoic kind of look, and then the face is like, when he would laugh at people's wrong, and I don't know why, I just thought it was funny because is that guy struggling deep down, I mean, how is he handling all this, because even Bush didn't get such bad media, so that was kind of, it's one of the tracks where he actually directly influenced it. Most of these are just kind of events that were going on around me and stuff, and not necessarily Trump or anything like that. I mean, that was definitely one example, I would say, of that happening, so give me 2 seconds here. Let me make sure we're in tune. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. That's going to be the part that's going to suck. That's going to suck. But it's going to be okay. It's all right. We'll get through it. I needed my good pick. Where's my good pick at? I'm losing everything here. Where's the good pick? Okay, there it is. Yes, okay, good. All right, so, The Struggle. Let's hear it. This should be fun. All right, yeah, I hear you. Thanks. Okay, here we go. The Struggle. Oh, that part. That part, I swear. And I didn't have my delay on either. It sounds a lot cooler when you... Wait. See, I'm already messing up the parts. That's the one that took me about 45 minutes to do. And I wanted to do... but when I tried to record that, it didn't fit well, so... Funny story about that one. Okay. Wow. Well, that was interesting. Okay. So, let's move on. Let's move on to the next tune here. And for this one, wrong guitar. For the next one, we need the help of the good old loyal Strat. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, those are the three guitars that I mainly used in recordings. I have a couple other ones. They're not here currently. This one I have to tune down a half step. And I'm going to use this one for 2 tunes, so no more guitar changing for the next 2 tunes. So this is an interesting track. This was originally done, this track, on a Les Paul, actually. I don't own Les Pauls. I don't like them typically, but I had got one from a buddy. I traded a guitar, and I just loved it. I forget the year. It was like a 60... What was it, 69 or... No, it was not 69. It was from a 66, I think. It was a headstock off a 66 that got put on there. And on a... maybe like a deluxe body or something like that. And, oh my God, it was the best guitar. One of the best guitars I've ever played. Well, it had sentimental value to him. I had it for a couple weeks, and I recorded this one track with it. No, I take that back. American Dreamer, the acoustic version, that's the guitar I used. But with this track, this was like, you know, as far as original composition. It's the only guitar I used it on, and so it's a little bit of a different tone using the Strat. But should still be fun. It's called One Day at a Time. So some of you might already know that tune. If you do, cool. If not, that's fine also. I'm sure you do if you're here, though. One Day at a Time is like my Allman Brothers type track. Alright, sorry, the tuning on this is, again, it's a little different. Alright, there we go. Let's make sure we're good here. Whoop. Good, okay. Alright, so. Alright, very good. Now, the last thing is checking the tone on this mess. Welcome to the fuzz zone. See? Alright, very good. That sounds very good. Alright. Beautiful. So, one day at a time. Let's do it. I'm losing people. That's not good. That's not good. It's not good at all. Y'all need to stay. I don't know why you're leaving. Alright. Okay, all right then. Boy, that was not good for the tuning. All right. I don't think this guitar likes to be tuned down. I've noticed that. Strats are pretty notorious for this, so. All right. Okay, so funny part about this next one here. Okay, so funny part about this next one is that this is actually not really like a song. You know, when I first got involved with Right Side, it was purely on a music level. And one of the things was that when we were using kind of early on, you know, we wanted to protect our streams from being stolen by people, because it's easy for you know, those stream stealing jerks to cover up the logos and stuff like that. But one of the things they can't really take out if it's done correctly is the music, which is why we use the music in the first place. Because that royalty-free stuff is just boring, you know, it's boring as ever. So, when he approached me, he said, you know, can you make me some original tunes? Now, I would say that, you know, most of the first album is a lot of that stuff. And I refer to it as like elevator type music, but it's really not elevator-ish. It's what it is it's just background noise basically to help pass the time by. So this was one of them, and I mean, look, the drums are not great. I mean, I'm being honest with my stuff, you know, the drums are not great. It's very straightforward, it's just 12-bar blues. But a lot of people like the tone in that one. That was actually a different Strat. The same Strat I traded for the Les Paul from the previous track, so history's a little concurrent here. And so, you know, I thought maybe I would just kind of have fun playing over this one because it's been a while since I've even really paid attention to it. Every time I hear the drums, I just think of this, you know, this robotic drummer just going, like not moving at all. And I just can't stand that because when I used to play open jams and stuff like that, I played a couple of blues gigs in my time, I always loved that interaction with the drummer. If he could swing, that was huge. That was important. So when your drummer's just kind of, you know, it's like I'm playing with a robot, and I'm not a fan. But anyways, let's get on with it, shall we? So this is Right Side Blues, and yes, that name is horrible. Again, I never thought any of you guys would want to hear it. So, you know, don't blame me. Okay. it's not even really an ending. It just sort of fades, right? So, ooh, man. All right. So, that was fun, right? Let's see. Oh, 5. All right, 5 people. Well, 5 people love me that much, huh? Yeah, that's much appreciated. Really, it is. We really do thank you on behalf of Joe and Steve, everybody. We're all thankful. Very much so. For me to be able to do this. All right, so here's a cool one. I got to set my tone properly for this one. All right, this one is a pretty cool one. This one is actually more of a personal. Song. You know, I've been sober for 2 years, and I've already lost track, but since November of 2014. Yeah, November of 2014. And I remember that I was going through kind of a weird, you know, sometimes you get those urges. And so when it affects you, it's better to, it's kind of like quitting smoking, right? You have to get off of the mindset. You have to get that out of your mind in one way or another. So for me, the easiest way to do that, of course, was to play music. And luckily, it's always been there, even during my days as a rapscallion. And so this song was actually as a result of that. So I just need a second because I've already forgotten the... Can you not hear that? It's called One Last Chance. You can tell it's been a long time since I played this tune, right? Okay, so let's try it. If I mess it up, I mess it up, right? No big deal. All right, one last chance. I messed it up a little bit. Sorry. It's been 7 months. But it was still fun, right? Still had a good time. That's what's important, is that we had fun. Okay, so same thing kind of with this next one here. This next one is more of like a passing track thing. Now, good tune. Don't get me wrong, good tune. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need to fix that. There we go. So this track was actually, I purchased these drums. Yes, I know. But, you know, it's all right. Trust me, you wanted me to purchase these because this was horrible. And these are kind of this like New Orleans style thing, you know. And I remember Joe had asked me, I want something kind of jazzy, right? And of course, I'm not a jazz player. I like to pretend that I am, as most do. And so this kind of came up, and this was a one-take guitar. So I'm probably going to mimic like very little of what you originally heard. Now, probably if you really don't remember this tune, it's just going to sound like I'm just playing over a track. So this should be interesting. It's called Swinging to the Right. And again, the title, I'm sorry. But we do swing to the right, so it's kind of true. perfect ending. All right. It's a fun one, right? It's casual. It's nice, just, it's not... Haven't brushed up on those jazz chops in a while. Jazz chops. Okay. Oh my, I better set up for this one. This is going to be a doozy. A doozy. This is the longest track. The longest track. And, wow, it's something. This was by far one of my most proud accomplishments when I did it. I had this idea for a long time, and it started off very simple. As soon as I play the riff, you're going to know what it is, more than likely. But let's make sure we're in tune here. Now, I practiced this one as much as I could, going back to remember the tracks, or remembering some of the parts, because it's been so long. And it's funny, when you play your music back, usually you can picture yourself playing it, just because that song, the melody and things are acclimated already to your mind with memories. Oh yeah, this has got to be in tune also, because we need the bad boy for this. So this song was... This actually was written to be the second American Dreamer. To me, this was going to be bigger than that. That's what I had always pictured. So it had that kind of vibe to it. And over time, as I started writing it, I was like, there's something different about it. It's not just American pride. It's just pride in particular. That's really what it boiled down to, is I just was proud. I was proud to be an American, but, this tune I thought was for other people in other countries too that are struggling with some of the problems, Islamization or whatever you want to call it, not to get too political. So that was kind of my mindset when I did this, was that it's just pride in something, right? It doesn't have to be nationalism or anything like that. It more or less kind of came out to be, especially when you hear something like... you automatically think, oh, it's an Irish jig, right? So yeah, originally the song started with just... And it just sort of evolved from there into all, oh God. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. As the guy that doesn't shred, this track is full of it. Let's hope I can remember this. I'm so sorry if I don't. This is a track I think a lot of people really like, and I'm very happy that they do, but man, it's been a long time. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay, Pride, everybody. That is hilarious. What was I doing? I couldn't remember that part. Let's see. That's what it was. I kept doing something stupid. What was I doing? Because it comes off of the C arpeggio. That's why I was going into the wrong, a whole step down. Oh boy. Well, that was fun. So sorry you had to sit through that punishment there. No refunds. Okay, that should be the end of songs that Jake sucks at. If unless you think I suck, period, which that's not far from the truth. Actually, we're going to keep this guitar. Okay, so this one is the newest song that I've done. You've already heard it probably if you're, if you're keeping up with my stuff. Now this song, it's funny because any song that comes after the election, not so much the political stuff in mind really at this point. At this point, I'm just really doing, just whatever ideas. Now, again, not every song before the election was political, but a lot of them had that. There's sort of a pretense to it. But after the election is when I realized that, okay, well, I need to keep doing this. We need to keep having more music, So this is off of Volume 3, of course, because it's the newest one. And this track actually had to do with a couple of people that worked in the office. I won't say who, and I don't, it's not ill feelings or anything, but there was just I was frustrated one night, I think, about something. There's some sort of disagreement, and in this business, people kind of come and go, and I don't think ill of anybody that's come and gone within the business, with us or anybody else that we've worked with, big or small. But this was specifically about somebody that I worked with, and I wrote it one day just really annoyed out of my mind. It's called Hard-Headed, and it's probably the perfect name for that. So let's play Hard-Headed. This should be fun. that song has some cool changes in it. So at the end there, it's funny. I just for any musicians watching, it's some cool chord shapes there. It's been a while. So it's funny because you really solo in minor pentatonic, or use like Aeolian, until it goes to this chord, and then there's some dissonance, and you want to use like the sus. And I forgot it was in a different, drop tuning. All right, so there you go. There's Hard-Headed, dedicated to somebody out there. Okay, so now this should be, we're going to stay probably, I think, on this guitar through the rest of it. And we've got like 4 left. Yeah, we got 4 left here. So this one is also off Volume 3. And this one kind of came about actually because of, my chiropractor. So my chiropractor, he was my chiropractor up in Iowa, Dr. Minto. Very cool dude, very sweet man, great guitar player too. He was a student for quite a while, and a good buddy of mine. And he's holistic. He used to do cool stuff, But anyways, he was really big into, is it Roy Gallagher? I can't even think of his name now. I think it was Roy. Anyways, there was this track that he wanted me to turn into a backing track for him. He wanted to break down the chords and stuff, and I said, okay. And I heard the track, and it was so energetic but so sad at the same time. There's just a really interesting dynamic in it. And I'm trying to think of what it's called, and I can't think of the title of it now. The World something. Oh, man, I can't remember. Anyways, ask me later if you want to ask me. I'll look it up. But so I made a backing track for it, but that track always stuck with me. It was always like, it's interesting. So one day I took the main riff and started noodling with it, and then I created something different. And then the title track of it, Please Don't Go, is about, there's turmoil. There's turmoil between sadness, acceptance. Well, really it starts off sadness and it turns into anger, and then it's finally at the end where it just abruptly ends. That's acceptance. Whether or not you accept it or not, that's part of it. So you could say it interlaps a little bit with, the 5 stages of grieving, of knowing that you're dying, I suppose. I mean, it can use in other circumstances, but that's kind of where this came from. And so I associate it with losing a loved one, whether it's a relationship or death. And I know I'm kind of all over the map, but keep in mind that there's always these different stories that I have when I do these things. There's one particular one would be, if I had to narrow it down, I would say that it's really about the stages of, it's about losing somebody and getting through those steps. So this is a cool one. It's been a while, but I really like this one. If you will give me a moment, I want to make sure I have the tone right. There we go, right, all right. That's right. Actually, I'm so sorry. I need the Strat for this one. That's right. Because technically I switched guitars in the middle of it. So yeah, I'm going to use this one. Screw it. It's true. The Strat is already tuned a certain way, and we're not going to waste any more time because I like to talk apparently. So we'll just go with this one for now. I know it's missing the single coil sound, but that's okay. Y'all will deal. It's a good track. Still good without it. Okay, so Please Don't Go. of those shred tracks, man. Some of those shred tracks. All right, now we're good. Okay, yeah. I was trying to remember the. Something like that, and the open string part was really hard, actually. I got that in one take. I was trying to remember how it went. Something like that. Anyways, cool track, right? Cool track. We like that one. That's a pretty melodic one. Until the end. My dad called it Marvin the Middle Martian at the end. So we've got 3 more. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. This should be fun. So this was the track that came after American Dreamer. And this track, for me, I really liked this one a lot. I didn't think I did in the beginning. And it sort of had the same idea and the same platform as American Dreamer in the sense that it's all about being an American. It's all about being passionate about where you're from. And of course, this can be applied to any country in any context, but this was written in mind actually with, I was listening to a lot of Rush at the time. Moving Pictures is my favorite Rush album. And I'm not like a huge Rush fan, but I do like them a decent bit. So I was listening to Moving Pictures, and I can't remember the song. It was Camera Eye from that album, which is their longest one. It's like their longest song in general. It's like 12 minutes or something. And so the opening riff was inspired by that tune, and then the rest of it just sort of happened. So, and I'm a bass player first. I should point out, most people think I'm a guitar player first, but I'm actually a bass player first. So the idea of sounding like Geddy and trying to do something kind of cool with the bass, because I don't do a lot of, the bass is there and it fills it up, but I don't do a lot of bass. So this is a track where the bass is really presented straight ahead. So this is Tried and True. And yeah, it's tried and true. just love that track. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about it. I love it so much. It's just so neat. It's the only thing I can think of really to, I flubbed the solo, but I can't believe that's one of the few songs, by the way, that I actually love that I've done to the point where, I didn't even rehearse that. It was just one of the, it just has it was a solo. Most of my solos, by the way, are improv completely when I record them. So it's a little harder for me to remember them, which is why if you'll hear certain key things that are there, remembering them in what bar and what part of the bar it's in, and then there's a little bit of rendition, newer rendition added to it, because again, it's a lot to remember. I always respect guitar players that when they play their material, they remember the solos, man, because I'm telling you, it's a lot to remember for some dork like me. All right, 2 more. So this one, I'm going to switch guitars. I know I said I wasn't going to, but we need to. It's important. I'll tune while I talk about this one. This one is a special track. It started off as a very simple, very kind of silly-ish idea that I had one day. Let's see here. Oh, okay, good. Tuner's on. Please don't die on me. It looks like it's going to die. If it does, that's going to be bad. No, it's not. So this song is about the simplest track that I have. There's nothing crazy about it. There's no drums. There's nothing like that involved in it at all. It's just guitar and bass and keyboard. Thankfully, we don't have to use the drums all the time. Anyways, this track was in late October or like mid-October. So I was here doing election stuff, working at RSBN full-time with Joe, helping him run it. And there was a lot going on. I think all the Trump grab it by the whatever stuff was out, and Hillary was looking like she was going to win, and everything was looking really bad at that time. I think there were people that were hopeful, but let's be honest with ourselves here. Everybody probably had some worry in there, and it's perfectly natural and okay, I think, to have that. I was especially that guy at that time. I was worried, not so much that he wouldn't be elected, because as much as I would have much rather had him at the time, I wasn't concerned too much about that as much as I was just, what about the country in general with all the divide and things, and trying to be as bipartisan as I possibly can with that. I was really concerned, and I just remember one night thinking, I'm getting older every day, and I'm watching things change right in front of my eyes. Like, the whole political spectrum is changing. There's all this stuff going on that, for somebody that is a pseudo-intellectual, pseudo being the key there, I really thought, oh my God, where are we at here? That's where this track came from. And I kept thinking to myself the whole time, sorry, I got to change the reverb here. I kept thinking to myself, is there any hope for us? Is there any hope for us as a country, as a people, as a society? Are we too far gone to really change? And that's where this came from. So the title track of this is There Any Hope for Us? And I'm really proud of this track, really proud of it. It grew on me over time. Okay, good. I want to make sure. Okay. All right, good. All right, is there any hope for us? Is there? You tell me. I hope so. pretty good except when I play it. Listen to the recorded version. It's 100 times better. All right. So we're kind of jumping to the conclusion of this. And I've had fun. It's been nice going down memory lane. Again, I want to thank every one of you for being a part of this. You're the only reason it happened. Without your donation each month to RSBN to keep us going, this would not be possible. So we are extremely thankful for your contribution. And I know that it's been a bumpy road, and I know that there's been some technical difficulties and personnel changes, all kinds of different things. And my brother and I, when Joe started this, we weren't really sure what was going to happen. He started it, but when I came in and we decided to go to the next level after the election, we didn't know what was going to happen. We still don't know, really. It's a tough business to be in. It's tough when the odds are stacked against you, really. And it's not just us. There's a lot of people that are in that position that are trying to do what we do in a sense, but the odds are stacked against us. It's pretty tough. So we appreciate it because we've dedicated our lives to this. We've all made huge changes. Steve coming from LA and me coming from Iowa, and people like Brandon who moved here from Colorado, and some of the other employees that we've had that have come from different places. And we've all adapted this as our job. So it's a big deal, and we want it to keep going. We enjoy it. We like being able to give back to people, and in the process make the decisions as we go. That's kind of the thing, and making it about the people. So it's really cool and very much an honor and a privilege for me because my music actually means something. It's very cool to know that there's people out there that think that what I do matters. People have paid money to hear my stuff. I've sold quite a few records, and I've been very thankful for that, especially with how hard it is to be a musician these days. So I'm always thankful, and no matter what would ever happen, I would never, you'll always be my friends. You'll always be my comrades, so to speak. So thank you for everything. Thank you for contributing and for being there and for sharing stuff. It means a lot. It means a lot. I just hope that things work out the way they're supposed to. And we're going to keep going as long as you guys let us go. So thank you again for being a part of this. And so we go to the grand finale. So, oh boy, who remembers back in, was it December? I don't even remember when. I could go back and look. I still have the email. But who remembers when a certain track appeared and out of nowhere arose a riff? Uh-oh, wait a minute. It didn't arise because the guitar's not plugged in. A riff came out of the clouds. Oh, this track. Okay, so I jokingly called this song my Milli Vanilli tune. This is my, what is it, in the rain, dancing in the rain, singing, I don't know what it's called. This is my one-hit wonder, basically. And this track actually came about, I'm a night owl, and I like to make music at night. I have more privacy during that time. And so I was just playing with the guitar unplugged. This very guitar here, this is my main one. And I was having a blast, just, it's like 4:30, 5 in the morning, eating Cheez-Its, sitting in my bathrobe, I think. It was just horrible. Just playing, messing around. And it's just thinking, I was thinking in chord shapes. If you play guitar at all, you know that that's a half bar chord, but it's made out of an A chord shape. Oh, traveling bass note, there's your chord. So I was just playing around with chord shapes, and it's just thinking, it's like what was I doing? It was like a, and I was like, and I started, kind of arpeggiating, and all of a sudden just came, I'm like, okay, that's cool, you know, and the chugging, yeah. It's not, I didn't just start playing it. It all kind of, you know, there's nothing really that special about the story other than the fact that when I sent it to my brother, when I sent it to Joe, Joe said, this is going to be huge. Are you sure you want to give me the rights to it? And I said, yeah, whatever, you know, because I didn't think anything of it. And all of a sudden, everybody wanted to buy it. So we put it on the website, and it sold like 1,000 copies in a couple days. And I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. So yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, pretty cool that track exploded. And again, the drums are the only thing that I wish that I could change. I've wanted to record another version of it so badly, but again, the more that I push it, the more I feel like everybody's going to be like, yeah, you have to have that to succeed. And you know, it's just a horrible feeling in a way for me. I push myself too hard, I think, or I'm too hard on myself is a better way to word that. I'm too hard on myself about the whole idea that, you know, that's like my swan song or whatever. It's a great track. I love it. And it really, I think, it embroiders America. I've really, without sounding really full of myself, I think I've come to realize that track is really symbolistic of what American values are. That's my personal take on it. And I think a lot of people do have somewhat of a similar take to it as well. So without further ado, I say we play My Milli Vanilli. All right, let's yeah. We wanted to make sure that tone is good, right? Because that's important. Okay. Here we go. American Dreamer for the 7,300th time. No, I'm kidding. I like it. ladies and gentlemen, that has concluded. We've concluded the concert. It's all over. Game over, man. We're going to take some questions, if you don't mind. If you want to ask them, I realize there's about 5-6 people watching. If you have any questions, I'm going to give us about a minute or so to answer the question. And if you have any questions that you want to ask later, you can always email me. My personal email is atticusmusic@rsbn.tv. So that's Atticus, as in from To Kill a Mockingbird, ATTICUS music@rsbn.tv. You can always ask me there, or you can just email the feedback one. But I'm going to play a little bit, just kind of noodle around to give you guys a chance to ask some questions, I should say, and I'll be the one doing the answering. That's right, I answer to you guys. Y'all don't want to ask me questions? I realize there's only 4 of you there. One of those would be, I see who's there. Okay. All right. Well, I think that means that since you all hate me with a dire passion, that we'll wrap it up. I'm kidding. I understand. Thank you for joining. Thank you. There's a big possibility that this will be a once-a-month type situation. So it's possible that because you contribute 50 or more that we'll do this. I can't guarantee that I'll just replay the songs over again because it'll probably drive you nuts. But maybe we could do a thing where every month, because of it, you'll get like 30 minutes to an hour where if there are any new tracks out, which I will work hard to do, I'll play through the new tracks and talk about them. Also, any questions that you might have regarding, any questions you have in general, anything about the company or anything about the music and things like that, I would be willing to do that. I think we'll talk about that at the next company meeting, and we'll see how that goes. But again, thank you. And for all that have watched the replay, thank you. Don't share it. It's just for you. It's just for you. And with that, I say you have a great day. Thanks a lot for joining.